City ordinance requires that within 6 hours after snow ceases to fall, that the sidewalks need to be cleared of snow and ice. Specifically, that requires that the sidewalks that are adjacent to the landowner's property, those are the actual sidewalks that are that are the affected sidewalks that need to be cleared off.
And for everybody in the city, not just people who live near schools where kids are going to walk?
That is correct. That applies citywide for all folks in the city, businesses and residences alike.
Is there a fine involved if it goes for a while and you get complaints?
There is. It is a violation of local code, and that typically allows for a $50 fine. Our team and staff have been, technically we've had the first snow. We've been out trying to work with people and let them know, hey, this does exist. And indeed, we have left some warnings in some cases and warning notices on the doors which are in form of a green tag. And then other folks we've actually spoken with and said, hey, just take care of this. And typically we're getting good compliance from people that are home. One dilemma, Tom, that we're running into is people aren't home right now. In some cases, obviously, due to the holidays, and in some cases, the effects that the Purdue break has. Some students, for example, might not be home. So again, we are encouraging folks that if they know they're going to be gone, and obviously it's at a time period where weather could be, where we could experience inclemental weather, that we ask that folks would just simply make arrangements in advance to have this work done if they're going to be gone.
And if you're physically unable to do it, same thing, make arrangements to have it done?
Right, and the city website does offer a resource that there are people who have volunteered or who have expressed interest in helping under those conditions as well. Just visit the city website. And, certainly there is that expectation. I mean, the bottom line is we want people to enjoy the beautiful snow, but at the same time we want people to be safe. And we have a lot of runners, a lot of pedestrian traffic, and we just want people to be safe as they're traveling through our neighborhoods and so forth.
Now, is there gray area in here? Like you were saying, after the final snow, we see a couple flurries dropping still. The wind's blowing today. Things are drifting. How do you clarify that?
Common sense prevails. I mean, the bottom line to it is once we're pretty sure the snow's done, there's a little bit of a time period as provided by the ordinance, and then we're going to go out. Today it's morning time now. We are going to go out this afternoon and look at things as we go into the weekend, and probably we'll have a reasonable expectation of a warning after the snow stops that it will be cleared off. And then if it's still here Monday or over the weekend or whatever, we may take action at that point. But right now, we want to be fair with people. Again, common sense prevails in terms of what's clean. I mean, something that's free of ice and snow. Obviously, there may be a little bit. I mean, no one expects it to be clean room clean kind of thing, but certainly just removal of the top layers of ice and snow. And if you have some of the ice melting materials, sand or some sort of ice melter, you may want to consider throwing that on there as well, depending on what the need is.
Like this one we're standing on right now, looks like a snowblower just went over it. Is that one pretty cleared off?
Yeah, that's exactly. That's very good. That's what we're looking for. It's not really icy or anything. So, if there were ice on there, I would encourage the homeowner or whomever did this to, again, throw some ice melt down to make sure that was gone.
Now, there's also a gray area about whose property it is, like here on Salisbury, who clears off over there in front of the Parks Department and everything, and on down past the cemetery to the school.
Well, something like that's city property, the city will take care of, or the schools will take care of their own. Residential neighborhoods, basically the ordinance provides, the wording in the ordinance is that if the sidewalks are adjacent to that property, then essentially it's inherently that property owner's responsibility to take care of that in some way.
And if it's not technically 6 hours after, and you own a property like right next to Happy Hollow here, and these kids have to trudge through this stuff to get to school on a 2-hour delay, do you encourage everybody to get out a little earlier to clean these sidewalks off for these kids?
Yeah, certainly it would be appropriate and prudent to do that. We do want people to sort of be proactive, but again, under the circumstances, the snow technically is still falling, so we can't even do that right now. But yeah, we want to try to be ahead of the game. Plus, if you start early, the next time you have to hit it, it's not going to be quite as bad.
Anything else you want to add on this, or just want to clarify for everybody?
Again, we just want everybody to be safe and enjoy the beautiful weather, but again, take measures to make our sidewalks safe and our streets safe. Obviously, when people, in fact, I saw this earlier when I was out, if the sidewalks are covered up, people have a tendency to use the streets because they've been plowed in some cases, and that's certainly not safe either. So we want to make sure that as best everyone can to be compliant with just clearing off the sidewalk.